Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Me Conscious, where we talk about everything conscious, mind, body, and soul. My name is Mackenzie Elizabeth, and I thank you so much for being here today, to taking time out of your day to not only listen to me, but to become more conscious and to listen to others on their story, and also myself, and to recognize your own. Today we're going to talk about making a change and a difference in our lives and the steps that get us there. First, I would like to start off by saying, right now in this moment, you are taking the first step subconsciously to make a change in your life. You have gone out of your way to listen to a podcast that has something to do with self-development and self-care. So, round of applause, pat yourself on the back. That is a win. That is definitely a win. You are going in the right direction. So, the first thing I'd like to point out is the direction I like to take things in and how I like to see things, the perspective, so I can have a more positive outlook instead of a more negative outlook, and how this makes a difference. So, I like to connect spirituality and psychology and put them together because they have such a beautiful intertwining mix in how they correlate with each other and bounce off of each other. It's very beautiful. So I like to use the divine energy, spirit, God. That is my true guider in this world. And I'm not sure what or who or where it is, but I know that there is something there, right? I think we all have this idea. And we all know that we have energy and matter in our body, and we also have this brain that works in all of this correlation. So how do we get them to function together where we're flowing freely in this world, in this time, in this space, inside of this human body, comfortably, knowing that there's a divine spirit guiding us, when we can really attune into that frequency and live in that purpose that spirit gave to us of why we're here and what we're meant to achieve while we're here. First things first, before we go into the 3 steps of how to make the change, we have to recognize the change, what we're going through. And what does that mean for our mind, our body, and our soul? What does it look like to be in a transition and a change, whether it be spiritual, job, family, education? Something's happening, something is shifting, and something needs to be done about it, right? Recognizing that that has to happen, or that's happening in your life, is a huge moment. It's a huge moment of realization that something's got to give in an area of your life in order to make a difference. And be in such a high vibrational frequency that you can hear, see, and feel the divine energies, guidance, touch, messages, signs, anything to keep you flowing in God's path, in your God-given path. So this is where we begin to intertwine the chakras, the central nervous system, and psychology. Today we're going to use Maslow's theory. And Maslow's theory was Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And we're going to correlate that to the chakra system and how that can bring us into a higher vibrational frequency and be closer to spirit, be closer to our higher purpose, so that we're divinely flowing with the universal energy. And that is a beautiful thing when you get into that energy. Okay, so now you've recognized that something is changing and shifting inside of you, and you need to do something before you explode or go in a direction that is really not for you. So, jumping into step 1 using Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid and the chakra system to correlate it with our mind and our body and the energy around us. We're going to start with the bottom of the pyramid, which is basic needs. And then we also have the bottom of the chakra system, which is the ground, the first chakra, the root chakra, and then you have the second chakra, which is also your reproductive system and your organs. Okay, so Maslow's first questions are your sociological needs met? Your food, your warmth, your water, and do you have enough rest? And that's also the same thing with the first chakra, is the matter and the energy, the fundamental self, my physical body and my sensations. That's the first thing we're going to recognize when we're going through this shift and transition. Am I okay with where I'm at? Do I have food? Am I warm? Am I cold enough? Do I have enough water? And am I sleeping? If we've answered no to any of these questions, then it may be time to start shifting and making a change. If we answered yes, let's show a lot of gratitude for that, first of all. And also, if we answered no to that, let's also still show some gratitude for that, because it's also showing us what we don't want. It's okay if we're still looking for the things that we do want in our lives, but something that we need to find out first is what we don't want in our lives. So that is a huge thing to recognize. The next thing we want to shift into is, are we safe? Are we secure? Are we comfortable with where we are? When I'm home, do I feel comfortable to express myself and to be in my own skin around myself, my friends, my family? When I'm at work, am I living in my true purpose? Do I feel accomplished? Or do I feel undervalued, underpaid, overworked, and unappreciated? When we can begin to recognize these things in our lives, whether it's positive or negative, we're correlating that to our chakras. The first chakra represents what I'm living for. And the second is I move. What do I move for? So first, what am I living for? My food, my warmth, my water, my rest, but is it truly met? Am I living the way that I truly desire in my life? 2, I move. I move because I'm safe and I'm secure. Because no matter what, I am divinely guided in this world, in this universe, and it's okay if I leave my boyfriend or my job because it no longer serves me. I can step into a higher purpose because I'm divinely guided, or I can stay because I am where I'm supposed to be because I am safe and secure. No matter where that is for you, just recognize what you have and what you need to do in order to keep that security and to make it happy and comfortable, or what we need to do to make a change so that it's happy and comfortable, or to move and shift away from it, to when to recognize these things. Okay? Now, whether you're just listening throughout the day, driving in the car, or you're enjoying a cup of tea, at some point today, grab a journal or in your notes in your phone or anything that you got, write down what you're living for, your why, your purpose. Why do you do what you do? And what drives you to do it? What makes you want to live this life? And is it really, truly setting your soul on fire? Which moves us into the next step of making a change. And even though we're in the second step of making a change, we're in the third and fourth step of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is also the third and fourth step of the chakra system. The third step in the chakra system moves into the gut into the I do's and feeling like you belong. And that's also Maslow's theory, is feeling like you belong and you're loved and you have good relationships with your family and your friends and yourself. The relationship you have with yourself is the most important. So do you feel loved by yourself? Do you feel loved by your family, and do you feel loved by your friends? Do you feel loved by your boyfriend or girlfriend? Do you feel appreciated in your life? Your core self, is it going in the direction where you feel like you belong? Have you found your tribe? Do you not need a tribe? What do you need for your life to feel like you belong in this world? And if you don't feel like you belong, go back into that first and second chakra. What am I living for? And how can I move? How can I move and shift into feeling like I belong? Now, if we feel like we're not belonging in any of these little places of our lives, let's check in with our ego. Is it healthy? Is it positive? Or does it have some negativity in it? Some self-doubt? Some negative self-talk? This is where we're going to create some affirmations. Words of affirmations to help us continue on loving ourselves so that we can show up for our family and our friends and our community in a positive manner. And it's okay if we don't feel like we're in a positive manner. That's when we have to take ourselves out of the community and out of everything else and go back into ourselves, repeat our positive affirmations until we feel ready to go out back into the world. But don't stay in that place for too long. You gotta go back into the world. It's a great place, okay? I promise you, you'll get there. So no matter where you are, let's go over some affirmations. You can do this at any time of your day, whether you're meditating, listening to music, driving in the car, or just need a moment to yourself. Okay. I am worthy of love. I am loving to others and to myself. There is an infinite supply of love. I live in a balance with others. I forgive myself. I forgive others. Love is my guiding truth in life, and I give and receive love effortlessly and unconditionally. I live in balance, in a state of gracefulness and gratitude. I accept things as they are. I am peaceful. I choose to be united with all beings, visible and invisible, in the realm of love and light. Now, this is just an example of some affirmations that I like to use on a daily basis to bring my self-esteem up and just feel good with who I am and where I'm at in my life when I'm feeling just a little uneasy or like I need a little bit more direction. But mainly, I use them on a daily basis so that I can just feel good with me. Now, as we said before, the fourth step in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is esteem needs. And the fourth chakra in our body, or our central nervous system, is I feel. It's our heart center. It's opening our ability to unconditionally love first ourselves so that we can love the people around us and so that we can love the world that we're living in. So when we can establish this comfortable self-esteem, we're starting to create a healthy ego. We're moving out of egotistical into healthy ego. Because we're no longer fighting against the world. We're no longer in fight or flight, which is what we're in when we're a little unbalanced or really unbalanced in our first two chakras. We're in fight or flight. That's our survival mode. It's how we're trying to get out of the situation that has been killing us for so long, which is also where the thoughts of suicide or death can come about. is when we don't feel like we have a purpose to live. So that's where this big transition or change can also come in play, because it can take such a huge toll on us when we're not living in our purpose. We literally feel like death. So we have to move ourselves away from that. How can I live? What do I need to do to vibrate higher into this flow with my divine energy and self and God's given power, the one that I was born for? So I have to start loving myself. I have to start showing up for myself and being here for me and making me feel good and look good, no matter what that looks like, so that I can show up in the world and be of service in the way that I was born to be. So how do you start doing, and how do you start feeling more? I want you to ask yourself, what makes me happy? What would I do if I didn't have to go to a job every single day? How would I spend my days, and what would it look like? Start visualizing what your life would look like at in-game goal. Do you have a career? What kind of car are you driving? Are you traveling? What is happening in your life? And what does it look like? What does that big picture look like to you? Don't worry about the steps in between and how you're going to get there. Just start visualizing what that in-game goal picture looks like, and then we'll get into the taking action and how to get there in the middle. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do, and I learned this about, 5-6 years ago, and it's the visual board. When I started learning about the law of attraction, I jumped on this vision board idea, okay? And a vision board is where you either start posting things to your wall, or you get a poster board or whatever you want to use to get creative. Do whatever you want. I got a poster board, and I started cutting out things out of magazines and printing off pictures and quotes and things that I wanted to do in my life, or places I wanted to go, and what I wanted my house to look like, and the boy I wanted in my life, and all the things that I wanted my life to look like at in-game goal. And when I started to do this, I started to see a huge shift. Now, I had my vision board when I first started for about a year, and I would always start collecting things on it. I was just putting things on it and putting things on it and putting things on it. And it started to look like this giant cluster bomb went off on it. It was like, throw up of life. This is what you want to do. Okay, fun. Well, I had to go through a transition in my life. I was moving from an apartment to a house with a girlfriend, and my car had just gotten stolen, and I just got a brand new car, and there were all these big shifts and changings in my life. I had even met a guy. Well, when I moved from one house to another, I was putting my vision board up, and I put the board up and I started taping things up around it. Well, one day when I came home, I had been at the house for about 2 weeks. The board had fallen off the wall. I just had it poorly taped up to the wall. I was just like, you're going here. So it just had fallen off the wall. And when I came home, I realized it had fallen off, and I just kind of moved it off to the side. And I was like, I'll put it up later. No big deal. Well, a week or two goes by, and it's still sitting on the floor, and I decide that, this has got to go back up. I need my vision board. And so I started looking at the wall before looking at putting the vision board up, and the things that I had posted around the vision board were still stuck on the wall, and I just started gazing at it and reading what was there, and I had this huge realization that everything that was on the poster board and that had fallen was no longer of service to me. I had accomplished these things in my life. I had gone to these places, and I had met my tribe, and I was growing in the place that I wanted to. And what was left on the board was a romantic letter of how I wanted to be loved. A picture of the kitchen that I wanted to live in. I had wrote myself $1 million check the year before, and I had realized that that $1 million check was not in material or money, but I had found love that was going to transform the way I saw life forever and the way I lived forever. And that was $1 million to me. And that kitchen that was in that picture I was now living in, which was a huge, huge reflection of visualization and how it shows up every single day. And I kid you not, guys, it may have not been the exact same picture, but it had the stainless steel, it had the white cabinets, it had the marble countertops and the new appliances, and it was like literally to a T what I saw. It even had like, in the picture, had like these little skylights that went around the top and like crown molding. And I kid you not, guys, there was a skylight in our kitchen, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My world had exploded when I had realized everything that I had been visualizing from this board was now showing up in my life. And was it because of the vision board? Because I had put this up and I said, yeah, I'm going to have that. And so it just comes to me? No. The subconscious mind starts picking up on this picture that you're beginning to paint for it, and it starts to take action in little parts of your life, because you wake up every single day and you look at these images or these words, and your mind just picks up on it, whether you're consciously looking at it or not. And your mind starts to go, I want that. I'm going to take action. What can I do to have that house, that ring, that boyfriend, that life, that solidarity, that travel moment, whatever lights your soul on fire, your brain starts picking up on it. Now that we've built a core foundation, we've began to visualize and manifest what we want our life to look like and where we want to go. We can now begin to go into the third step. And the third step is taking action. You're taking action to fulfill your purpose, to achieve your highest dreams and goals. And that includes being creative, not stopping your life so that you can work a job and then come home and have your creativity. What creativity makes your life? How can you intertwine those two? How can you make that your whole life? Now, when you begin to take action, because you found out what you're living for, you found out how to move, you started doing things that lit your soul on fire, and you started feeling yourself and your emotions and expressing them in a way that is communicative. I don't even know if I said that right. That's a hard one. Communicative. And full of love and full of light and heart and soul. And when you begin to do that, you start healing. That first action is healing. You begin to heal yourself. And when you begin to heal yourself, you start flowing. The divine spirit begins to take you in a place that only you can be a witness of. And when you can live in that light that God has given you, in that purpose, it begins to reflect. You no longer have to share it. It no longer becomes a chore. It no longer becomes this thing that you dread every single day. It becomes something that you wake up wanting to live for. And you are happy and free in your divine energy, and you are living in a heaven built for you. You are no longer suffering in your hell. And I say that as if they are present with us, heaven and hell, because heaven is here. It is earth, it is the people, it is the animals, it is the fruit, the trees, it's everything. It is God. It is our Creator. And our hell is our suffering, what we put ourselves through and what we put others through because of our traumas and our ancestral traumas. Now, I don't know if that's a place that you go to after you die, or I have a strong belief that that's a place that we're at here right now, and I choose to see my hells and my demons and to heal them and to bring love and light and gratitude to them so that I can live in the Garden of Eden and eat the apple and be happy and pure and full of life in this place that God gave us to live in. And when you get to this place, I want you to do something very, very crucial. I want you to do that whole process all over again. I want you to make sure every day that your needs are met. I want you to look at the world that you are creating. And I want you to begin to take action every single day toward your life and your dreams and live this one beautiful life that you have to its extreme fullest. Extreme fullest. Because it's the only one you have. For right now, that's all we know of. I believe in reincarnation, but each one of those lives is one life. So this one that you're living right now, it's the only one you have. So let's live it to the fullest. Now, through this talk, we went through Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which was more of psychology. And we've also touched base on the chakras and the energy system and the divine energy system. Now, one thing I didn't touch base on that I'd like to before we head out is that chakra system and how it correlates with our body. Now, the first and the second chakra are at our lower points of our body. Their first chakra is our root chakra. It's at our tailbone. The second chakra is our reproductive organs and how we move. I know we touched base on that earlier. And our third one is more towards our gut and how we feel our fire. And this correlates a lot with what we're putting into our body and what we're eating and what we're fueling our body with. So if you're having any imbalances in going from moving or doing in your life, I want you to ask yourself, what am I putting into my body? What am I drinking? And how is my gut health? This will really help shift your perspective on what you do. And if you don't know how to take some of those steps, don't be afraid to reach out to me and we can figure out your body type. Figuring out your body type will change everything because there are 3 different body types on this planet that we know of, and they all correlate with each other, and everybody needs particular foods or does not need particular foods according to their specific body type. So that makes a huge difference. And that isn't about midway, it's about above our belly button, and that's the spinal point. It's about when the spine curves in. And I believe, don't quote me on this, this is the C-spine. I didn't look up that information. I'm just going off of my brain at this moment. So if I'm wrong, someone please correct me. And then we're going to move up into the 4th chakra, which is the heart. And that goes into the sternum and how we feel and how we love and how we balance in our masculine and feminine energy. And that's also in the Maslow's hierarchy of the psychological needs. So we move from the basic needs to the psychological needs, from the bottom of the body to the middle of the body. Now, as we move up, one thing that Maslow's theory didn't put in there was the I express, which is the 5th chakra, how you express yourself, how you speak, which is all at your neck and your shoulders. And also I heal, which is your 6th chakra, and it is also your frontal lobe in your brain. He kind of just skipped to the self-actualization. So we're kind of missing 2 points there, which is okay, no big deal. I think in Maslow's hierarchy, once you can find out those basic needs and the psychological needs, it kind of just jumps into healing and flowing, but I would like to just point that out that sometimes we get stuck or we get weird or blocked, some say. I don't necessarily like to use those words, but we have these energies there, and we lose how to express ourselves, and we don't know how to heal by ourselves, and we don't know how to outreach, and that's okay. That is okay, because you're here, and we can learn how to heal, and we can learn how to outreach and use our words, and we can learn how to express ourselves, and hopefully we start surrounding ourselves with the right people, so that we're getting the feedback that we need in our lives, and they can also help guide us and lead us into a direction of healing so that we can use the services that other people have to offer and their gifts and why they were brought here in this world, right? Like doctors and lawyers and healers and nail specialists. Yeah, those people are great, right? I love having my feet worked on, and not just for having my nails painted, because that's not always a step I like to take. I actually like to just get my feet cleaned and have a massage, because that's a lot of where our toxins come out of. So I'm super thankful for people who do nails. Thank you. And that is a way I like to love and take care of myself so that I feel good, because I'm cleaning my body and I'm also feeling good in the skin that I'm in, so that I can just be present with myself and not worry about anything else. And that's just a weird little tidbit about me. So to close off for the day, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for being with me here today and listening and taking the steps of healing yourself. And these 3 steps may feel like, oh, just 3 easy steps. But if we continuously just step into them and go backwards and forwards and wherever we need to be, meet yourself where you are. I don't make promises, because life changes all the time, but I can guarantee that if you continuously step into yourself, you will start seeing results in your life. And you may not have the end game goal today. Rome was not built in a day. Da, 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 da. You have to love the middle path. It's extreme and it's beautiful. And no matter where you are, meet yourself and the people around you where they are, and try to put yourself in their shoes. You are loved, you are supported, and you are divinely guided by our great spirit, whatever that may be. For you, that's all that matters, is what you believe. If you are feeling stuck in any of these places of your life and you feel like you need to outreach to have a little help and guidance in your life, don't be afraid to ask for guidance or assistance when you need it. We all need support in a multitude of ways, and we need to get more comfortable asking for assistance. So with that being said, if you're having any troubles in these areas of your life and it's just too much for you to do on your own, I am here for you. I'm here to help guide you in a direction that you already know. I'm not giving you anything that you don't already know. I'm just helping you discover that within inside yourself. And something that I've created that's helped me out so much that I decided to make a 28-day program out of is my program called Diamond. It's a 28-day program where we work on that first foundation, the core foundation of our being. And when we do this, we start creating a practice for ourselves from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. From waking up to doing a morning yogic practice with breathing exercises. And we also tap into some normal exercises that are not yogic, but everything is yoga because yoga means to unite. And all we're doing is building our body and our mind and our soul, and we're putting them together so they're fitting together like a perfect little puzzle. And in the evening, we do journaling exercises so that we can ask ourselves real questions of what happened in our lives and how we feel and how we can move through them. And by asking ourselves these questions, we start to move into that self-actualization process, that enlightenment process, because we're beginning to heal what's been buried inside of us for so long and is dying to come out and to be expressed. And throughout that morning and evening exercise, I give you tools and tips to help guide you along the process with guidance from the stars and astrology and the moon. And I'll tap into all of that in the program, or if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions, and I'll also make plenty of more podcasts that explain that into depth, in way bigger depths, because it's something that needs to be talked about. And although this is a 28-day program, this is also a reoccurring subscription, because life gets in the way so much, and we don't always have time to tap into our practice, which is absolutely normal. So what I've done is I've created a monthly subscription. I took the 28-day program and I made it to where you can tap into it at any time. So anytime you want to go into the practice and you want to say, hey, we're in the moon of Gemini, I want to do a Gemini practice, or we're doing a full moon practice, I want to do that full moon practice, and I want to do that journaling for the day. I'm really feeling called to do this practice. You can do that at any time, and you can cancel at any time. If you say this is not for me, you just go in and cancel. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, and I'll answer anything I can for you. And if you're interested in doing it, I'll put the link down in the description so that you can join into that practice and tap into your higher self. Also, beginning in May, I'll be opening a Master the Masculine Mastermind. It's a 3-month program where we take that 3-step foundation and we take it onto a whole bigger perspective. We're going to work one-on-one, we're going to work with groups, you're going to get worksheets on how to go through these life trials and bust down those walls like they were never an obstacle in your life in the first place. I'll have more details coming up on that soon for Master the Masculine, but until then, do not hesitate to reach out to me for anything that you need to balance your mind, your body, your soul, and your life. Or if you want to tap into your higher self even more and create a better foundation for your life and tap into that program. Or simply just come and listen. I thank you so much for coming and listening to me today and showing up for yourself and taking the time out of your day to just be present with life and everything that you're creating. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. Namaste.